someone's list. Bitch, I had to kill that.
I'm right here in front of the camera, so they should have me. Are there any viewers? And then we post the link in the group. Get stick, get stick. Like the ball was right now. Literally not like that. And I definitely said like that. Because the lead was bad. I could have another point. You definitely. See, that's the thing. Like when there's certain people on the runway at a time, that's when you know when people say like, "Do you make the category high?" If you was there, I know Shay would have really. But she didn't even give. She did not tap. I'm like, girl, what is you doing?
She would have had to tap in. Everybody would have had to tap in because I was gonna play. Especially after sliding out my 360 in Detroit. Oh yeah.
Who recorded the trip though? Jay or something? I need to watch. Is there anybody in the chat? Huh? No? Oh, she just went live. Hello. We was waiting. Okay. Is that not what you asked? Okay. What's that red thing that just popped up? Are you on the live? Let me see. How do you access the live? Uh, who's dropped like that? Why'd you resend it? Disregard that, please. I already see it. Nina said she can hear you. She can't. What's up? She need to turn up her volume. You can hear now? Can you hear now? She said yes with the mic. Good.
Yes.
And y'all need a new bookwork. That's annoying. Or maybe we can get new mics. Like, yeah, you jot it down. That's your job. Mm.
Body mind. The job that I just love coming.
Or put them on your wig. From this angle, this room looks big. Hello. Why I can't hear? She lying. Oh. No, this is fine. Where you gonna move to? Oh, no. People don't want to be seen. Well, if they want to be looking at people, they should arrive in person.
Ooh, I did not.
No.
Are you live?
He'll be lying. He's alive.
You want to switch seat right there
Right there in the corner.
on Candy Camera. You look nice though. Your legs look tone.
Mm.
Oh,
And they got a deep leg.
two viewers.
Can y'all identify who the viewers are?
I don't think so.
I think you need to move back here though, because now the audio is a little distant.
I can hear you perfectly. But she said that like 2 years ago. No, that's a lot. That's the last one. It wasn't close, but you can hear it clear as different.
What do you think?
Yes, I can. I'm listening to you right now.
It's faint. On the comfy couch.
I hear you loud as that.
Oh, why is it such a lag? All right. So today's topic of discussion is marketing managing. So basically, this will be just a open forum. We're gonna just touch on the topics that are marketing and managing. So let's start off with the marketing side of it. What is marketing to you? And we can pass the mic off so they can hear you.
You might have to address it. Real talk. Can you sit over there? Like, really trying to behind the table.
I think of promoting, promoting events and stuff.
Marketing.
Marketing is your presentation, like how you want to sell, advertise, how exactly you want to showcase, what acts or uh, what ways are you using to show? How are you positioning yourself on a certain platform to be presented? It's visibility.
You should have brought two mics. What other mic? Yes, it does.
Marketing to me.
Yeah, I literally had both mics and both nights.
I know you
On
said
Friday.
that.
Yeah, acting like. What is marketing to you?
Marketing is the importance of how to sell whatever that you're trying to market. Take that however you take it.
And this is what's wrong with Ballroom. Y'all make things too complex. Like, okay, so marketing looks like basically the advertising, right? So how you present it, where you present it, when you present it, all plays a key role in that. Why do we think that, or do you even believe that marketing is important in your Ballroom career? Yeah. Why? Oh, how do you think that marketing affects your Ballroom career?
That's how you're gonna make your name known to the audience.
Okay, so how you can get your name known.
Like for the people who want to be like household names, you have to market yourself in a certain way. So it's like, for example, there's some, I'm using Chanel for example. So Chanel markets herself with different, what you call it, what is that shit called? I don't know. But you got different people who do different things. So like how we just said King James for example, he used to come out with like the
A
headbands.
signature look,
Yeah.
signatures. So, so that's a part of marketing, right? But the more important piece is again how we're getting it out. So creating it, which is what you just said, a signature. is the foundation of it. But the marketing piece of it is like, well, how are you marketing it? What are you doing to market that?
You're building your brand. Like, what are the things that are like you're building your brand. So it's like, what are the things that are you? What are the things that are the indicators or identifiers that this is who you are? When you show up, this is kind of what you're known for. Um, what's expected of you. Want to chime
So when I'm asking the how we're doing it, right? So the how is, are you recording your practices? Are you posting these? If you are posting these, where are you posting it? What are you saying on the posts? Um, what type of audience are you trying to captivate with your artistry and all of that, right? So let's start with the where are we posting? Where do you typically post your content? Okay,
Let's go first. Facebook.
okay, the geeky group
I post on the stories.
story.
Well, make sure that it's linked to like your Facebook page, all three.
Or if you really want your post to get out there, you post in the bar, post in other people's.
Okay, the bigger ballroom group, clips, deals, and tips, teas. You not? We have to get you up
Ballroom,
again.
hashtag clip, hashtag biz, hashtag T.
Where you posting your material?
I don't know.
Why not?
Good question. I just don't.
Me either. I'll be like, gotta embarrass myself.
I've been told to, but I have not done it.
That was fucking shit.
You said you've been told to post, but what?
I just haven't.
Why?
It's like it's in the moment to me. It's like you exhausted it. Like I don't mind it being recorded, but I just don't feel the need to post. So I haven't felt the need to post.
But you just already said that you agree that marketing is an important piece. So why are you not marketing yourself?
I would do that.
See, I'm telling y'all, this is a neat thing. People need to be in attendance in these type of discussions because y'all.
Post yours.
I post mine everywhere. When I came out on the scene, bitch, it was nothing I did not post. Like, it got to a point to people was like, you need to just stop posting. Like, bitch, no. If you don't want to see it, then block me. But, and ultimately, like, I've had moments, even before Ballroom, like with my drag career, where one of my performances actually had went viral. And then from that moment, I was getting booked, like, out the wazoo. And that moment, I'll never forget that moment because literally, like, it was already became a constant thing. Every week I would do a show. After the show, the next day I would post it on my Facebook. And so I never thought nothing of this performance in particular was Ariana Grande, Break Free. And I posted it, I want to say probably like 2 weeks later. I woke up and my Facebook was going crazy. Like it was shared so many times. The comments was going crazy. People was in my inbox. How do we book you? All of this and that. All because I was just freely. I didn't have any intent behind posting it, but beyond like wanting my craft to have a platform and something I can always go back and look back on, and also sharing it with other people who may not be able to see it, in present time. You want to reach the masses, and ultimately, it paid off for me. So I would encourage y'all to definitely market yourself.
But this new day and age of social media, we would have to post like at a certain time, with the right hashtags, with the right thing, to the right crowd that we want. I mean, just posting it's gonna go right where nobody sees it.
So we're talking about algorithm. I think that because that topic has become a thing that the focus, again, remember, even back then, which I mean, it wasn't that long ago, but Even back then, algorithm was a thing. However, so you get exposed off of one or two ways, right? Either somebody you just gonna post the right thing at the right time that meet the algorithm, or with consistency, you're gonna start to just attract flow to whatever platform that you want. Like, let's say if you really get into it, a lot of the content creators are popular because they stick to the formula that they know, right? So you have content creators like what's the boy Nas, y'all know him? Oh, shoot. When I say content creator, I'm not talking about sex. Not sex alone. Yes. Who's another one then? Y'all know that the lady who's the old lady that Shirley,
Yeah.
Shirley, y'all know her. She does like skits.
The old church lady.
The old church lady.
You looking for Frank? Oh,
Uh-huh. You know, like her, that's her thing. That's kind of what got her exposed, and again, staying consistent to that is another way that you can kind of magnify your your platform or your craft. So I would just again encourage y'all to just very much so be consistent with whatever you want to post. Go ahead, don't. I would say I know like you shy, but if you wanna get out there, you're gonna have to get out there. So,
Start off with posting your videos on TikTok.
yeah. Or start off with a platform that, you like on your stories, or maybe it can be in only your close friends. Start off small, then venture on to the stories where everybody can see it, then venture on to actually, that type of thing. But when it comes down to marketing involved, it is very, very, very important. If you want to get your name out there, which is a very key thing, you want people to know your name to the category, then and we talking about ballroom abroad, not you can't think locally, right? You have to have that mentality like I want to be a national name or international name. And these time and age, it's very simple. You don't have to necessarily travel because we're all connected through the World Wide Web. So posting your content on the internet is the fastest way for you to broaden your viewers. Okay. All right, so when we talk about management, this one right here, I love this, right? I never realized like how important management is. Even when you think about artistry, like what is the one thing or what does management look like for you?
Management to me, management to me would look like your support team, your advisors.
That we see.
In some cases, probably your house parent. It's gonna be those persons that are like being your accountability partners that are gonna be telling you, maybe you shouldn't do this, or this could have gone well had you done this, or let's try it this way, or I would advise, or sharing things from a place of
Pretty close to see your mouth.
from my experience. From my experience, do it
Hello.
this way.
They ain't hear you.
Okay, so
There we go.
Ooh. What is management to you?
what is management to me, or who is management?
Management to you, what is it? What does it look like?
Management to me is the way that you're doing things. Like, how do you control it? Like, what is your process of doing it? Like a systematic way of doing things. How are you managed? What are you paying attention to? Do you have things organized? Are you, organized? I think that's the best word I would use to it. Like, how are you managing yourself? Are you keeping track of things? Are you kind of ahead of things? Are you paying attention to detail as a part of management?
Like you said, a lot of stuff already. On top of that, I want to add like management also includes like the people who organize the balls, because you gotta know um, the right thing from the categories. So you gotta like coordinate with the ballroom organizers, just to like get your effect right. You don't get charged or something.
What is management team?
In ballroom, period.
Period. Abroad.
Management team is what she said.
Management is the team that is behind you and the ones that are looking out for you. Like to tell you like this is the ball that you should be at because of X, Y, Z. So like when JRP coming to us talking about why aren't y'all walking this ball? To me that's management because it's just like you know that this is gonna be the ball where you can turn it or shit. Watch you be turned. So one of the two.
So do y'all have a team? Does anybody know we have a team?
Yeah. My team consists of J-Rock.
My current team is J-Rock, Paris.
I think a team is kind of a little bit broader than just maybe one specific person. Your house parents could be your management team by whatever standards or expectations they hold you to. I don't think it's just one particular person. Now, you may have people that you kind of go to that are your mentors specifically, or those that may be a little bit more relatable to you. But I think management could be anybody. Those are accountability partners, those are advisors, mentors.
Right, but the question is, do you have a team?
If I do have a team, my team are the aforementioned.
The what?
The aforementioned.
Aforementioned. What is it?
The people that I just named.
She always want to be so deep.
I don't have like a specific team right now, but there's like some people that I usually go to, especially when I did my first walk. So I went to John and to Shikori. They were like my consultants now.
Okay.
Chris. And I like that, like in general.
Okay. So I like that we all talked about, I like the fact that you brought that down about like mentors and management. Like, so a mentor, we don't want to confuse or cross-reference the two. So somebody that you are allowed to mentor you doesn't necessarily have to be your manager. And in regards to management, do you guys agree with this statement that your management team needs to be how can I word this? Okay, so do you agree that you don't or should not have so many managers at a time?
I agree. You shouldn't have like a lot. Like I don't think your team should consist more than 5 people. Well, more than 3. And the reason why I say this is because even with 3, that shit still gets tricky. So it's just like you need at least a solid 2 to tell you like what's gonna be like for you, I guess, or like what's gonna be like the best vision. Because then when you got so many pots in the kitchen or like so many hands in the kitchen, you're gonna be trying to go everywhere and it's not necessary.
I agree. You should not.
It's for the viewers. Ah.
But no, I agree. You shouldn't have too many managers because too many opinions, feedback could create conflict and it'll only confuse you. So I think you should choose the most relatable, the person that's probably the most knowledgeable and the most experienced that would be a benefit to you. Too many managers would overwhelm you.
Okay. So, and I agree. I feel like when you talk about having a team, right? So, a team is not going to be your management. The team is everybody on the team needs to play their own role, right? What that looks like is if you have a specific hairdresser that you want to continuously use, a specific designer. You have someone who you know, looks over your effects for you. And then you should, I feel like, have one manager at the most, maybe two. And again, it's because if if the two people that are managing you are not like-minded, your journey is going to be a little more complex than what it needs to be. Like you need a very clear thought, a very clear, concise um, roadmap, game plan, and when you involve more than one type of mental mentality into that decision making process, this is when things do get very tricky. Like you might have somebody who says, "Oh, well, you should go to X, Y, and Z." The next person may not even name any of those and name some other shit way off the fly, and now you stuck in between trying to figure it out when the manager is there to help guide you. You know what I'm saying? So I again would only encourage y'all to like yes, establish a team, understand what that looks like, but there should only be one, at the most two people managing you at a time. And even as y'all go on in y'all careers, um, the more that you learn about ballroom, the more you start to see things in a different light, right? So even if you need to make adjustments, never feel like this is a commitment that you stuck with, like a contract, right? Because if the people or the person that's managing you is for you, then they won't take that side personal, right? So if you get to a point in your career, you like, well, I think that I want to make a switch. Respectfully, so whoever this person is that was managing you at that point should be able to understand. Okay, well, I've led you this far. This may be where our journey ends. Cool, you know. But on the flip side, you might get a bitch that's like, girl, well, I'm not gonna turn on your time because I feel like you tried me. But then that's a learning lesson for you, right? Like I should have never fucked with you to begin with. But yeah, so marketing and management is a really, really, really real thing. I would never suggest anybody who is like fresh into ballroom to come into ballroom thinking that they can self-manage themselves because it's already so much to take in. Like you gotta learn lingo, you gotta learn categories, you gotta learn so fucking much. And it's so less stressful when you have somebody that you one trust, two needs to be certified, okay? And what that looks like is you want to make sure that whoever this person is managing you has managerial skills, has a managerial history, you know, and they have a track record that can basically validate what they're trying to do with you. You know, managing you should be priority, but you don't just be no fool and just let anybody manage you. Like, because at that point, you just set yourself up for failure. And yeah, when it comes down to marketing, I would love to see more of y'all clips flow around the internet. Like y'all really don't post like that. Like it can even be practices. That's why I said like I know the mentality of newer people is kind of like I don't want people to see me in my worst, but I think the mindset should always be again focused around like self.
Well, I know when I was teaching myself how to vogue, I like just used to post like I used to get up, pop the camera up, start voguing down, and then I post it. And then yeah, that's how I was in this one Kiki house, it was the Kiki House Supreme was in DC, you know, they want to be real, but they was like, you gotta come to DC, you gotta come to DC, and I was like, I'll see, and stuff like that. But I mean, yeah, like, just, you just gotta be really, I'll just be like nonchalant about it, like, well, see, they gonna like it or they not, like,
is what it is. Because I mean, that's the same thing as walking the ball. It's either your night or it's not. So it's either gonna be a clip or it ain't. But as long as you just I know like recording yourself, it kind of like builds your confidence up because you see what you doing and what you look like behind the camera and what you can do better because you're your biggest critic. So I mean, I say like it'll definitely help you in the long run. It's always good to go back and look at your clips when you was just now starting to where you are now.
Exactly. So
Hold on. Just like you just humbled me today, niece. Zaire sent me this video of myself battling one of our house members, and it was horrible. But to like what you just said, to like record yourself and like take one of your clips, I was sending my shit to the people that are icons and legends on the mainstream. Like I sent it to Ricky and I sent it to Asia. Asia told me to stretch. Ricky said keep trying.
Yeah, so it definitely should be more about a self thing, right? Like when you're posting, take out the thought of, oh, are they gonna read me? Or, what type of negative backlash may I get from posting this? And understand that this is also a part of your journey. You wanna have something to look back on and say as proof, because sometimes people don't believe it. Like for me, I truly, honestly, humbly believe that people think that I think that people have this idea that I've always just had it together, and that's just not what it is. And like, you can go on my YouTube and actually see the journey that I've taken, and I actually live for that. Like, I like going back and looking at my clips and seeing like where I started from, where I came from, because it's just more, again, like Zaya said, more validation for me to say, well, shit, like, I did that, I put in that type of work, and I'm actually seeing the progress in myself. So look at it from that standpoint. Fuck what anybody got to say. Everybody started there, literally everybody. Nobody just woke up and knew how to vote. We all look crazy. Nobody knew how to do runway. Nobody starts off knowing anything about any category. Everybody starts off looking crazy still. So don't let that fear. And you should. I mean, y'all didn't won y'all categories and stuff. Why would you not celebrate that for yourself? I saw yours.
But even in my real life, I'm not like this. Like I
And
don't
this
post
isn't real life. This is ballroom.
Yeah. Okay.
You gotta find your ballroom. What's your ballroom name? Exactly. You have to, and that's another thing, right? It's like marketing. So in marketing and ballroom, you need to market your ballroom persona. So like who I am outside of the scene is Nicholas. Who I am in the scene is the Paris. That's a ballroom pageantry persona. So I'm not the same person. I'm a lot more confident as that person. I'm a lot more confrontational. I embrace everything about that persona, right? And I don't allow um, my own fears or any type of like secondary thought to deter me from doing things like posting it or doing stuff like this. So you really just need to first tap into that. Like, what do you want for that person to be? Like how Beyonce has Sasha Fierce, Beyonce. These are all different personas that are obviously within her. However, they are, again, they appear when she wants them or in the arena that she wants them to appear in. But I'm pretty sure her every day, all day is giving Beyonce. She giving that she chill, laid back, low key. But Beyonce is more like the hood chick. Sasha Fierce was like the entertainer. So you gotta very much so home into like what do you want your ballroom persona to look like? Your Majesty.
With a name like that,
Legacy.
it's gonna be
Oh, your legacy.
your
Your
legacy.
Majesty.
See,
Oh, it's a long name. Exactly.
It's just like when they say Your Highness or Your Majesty. It's just a prefix. Yes, before legacy, not kids.
Oh, legacy. But
You said
she just said
Yeah.
nobody's gonna know your name because you don't post.
You're right. Welcome your majesty.
Legacy.
What was their purpose?
My legacy. Yeah, but yes, this was a very great topic. Like I want to touch on this again with more individuals. Obviously, not to me, but y'all have great marketing and management behind y'all, so we don't have to worry about it. Who me? When I first started on the scene in the mainstream, the first person. Let me think about this, because in reality, like I was my own management team. Like on the drag side, my boyfriend at the time was definitely my manager. And so that kind of tied it to Ballroom a little bit too. So I would say like he was at that present time. But then like there has always been other people, I guess, playing like a mentor. I wouldn't say I got a manager until like J-Rock. Like that was 7 years later. So
I have like more than two. Like I feel like my house parents, but it's different because one of my it's late. It's different because one of my house parents is actually one of my dating friends. So it's like double. So I there's like I experience with that. So they shine for sometimes these easy folks in practice outside of road. And so those are the people that I trust that I feel that I will. And like you said, for what you need people for. Like you may go to this person for hair, you may go to this person for wardrobe. So I think that they all I have like an emotional support manager before I go to make sure that I'm out. I have a person that will say, work on this in your wall, or wear this, or probably should wear that. Um, you're kind of like a manager on the side of a pack, kind of making sure like we have good so I can reach out to you and things like that. Oh, I'm done now.
would you like to introduce yourself to the viewers and let them know? Do you have um, do you have a team in Ballroom? A team? Team.
Like people that manage. I'm teaming.
You see what I mean by speaking the language? Obviously, there's a language barrier.
What you mean? I'm like,
No, I'm talking about.
007, you have a manager?
Right, you can still have a team behind you. Is there some? Do you have people that help you with certain things, aspects of Ballroom, those that would make a good team? Okay. Say it for the people to hear you.
I would like for them to still remain anonymous. I got it.
You have a team? They can hear you.
Y'all hear me?
No. So rebellious.
Okay, so y'all want to know my whole team?
No. So I asked you, do you have a team?
Yeah.
Okay. Would you like to tell the people what your team consists
No,
or what
this,
your teams consist of?
there's different people from different houses. So
Why are you not wanting to expose it?
because it's my team.
Okay. I mean, but you can obviously you can help somebody. You don't want to.
no, I mean, just like the person I was talking to, slow down your hand. Just the person I can talk to, they'll say, are you okay? Just making sure I'm good, calm. They'll just ask, how are you? To make sure my nerves are okay. So why do they
And the question was, why does she feel like she needs an emotional manager?
Because I can. Like, I battle with emotions sometimes. I'm not an emotional person like that, but certain things can't.
You said certain things to do it.
Yes, certain things can overwhelm you. Large crowds, loud noises, the expectation, the thoughts of failure, all of those things. So just, and it may not necessarily that I'm emotional at the time or I'm overwhelmed. It's just a person just to ask, are you okay?
So, the question right now is, uh, do you have a team, and what does your who or what does that look like? Do you have a team?
Yes, of course I have a team. My team is the iconic International House of Juicy Couture.
The whole house.
More specifically, the Southern regions, because I am one of the creators, well, the creator of a lot of the Southern regions, and help cultivate some of the regions that I didn't create. What was the question?
Yeah, would you like to name people on your team?
Well, we have the icon J Rock.
You got a lot of people team.
I could really go on. Like, I honestly feel like my team is everybody that's been juicy since the beginning, people that's coming in, the new leaders, the newer members, and not only the iconic House of Juicy Couture. I think my team is also some of the people who started the Kiki scene here, like Paris, J Rod, Micah, people who I communicate with outside of Juicy when we have some things going on that we want.
That's what I can hear.
Oh.
It's like, why the fuck are we talking about mics? It's fun.
But yeah.
Okay, so I want to unpackage. Let's take the pen back out of the Josephine conversation. So we were having a conversation earlier, and remember that today's lesson is about marketing and management, right? And so Josephine, if for everybody or people in here that don't really know anything about Josephine is a ballroom personality that crept on the scene around OTA's era. So Josephine definitely came out OTA getting chop suey. OTA obviously started to look the other way or turn the other cheek, and they started giving her tens. And so now recently at a major ball, at the New York Awards ball, she was chopped twice. And upon getting chopped, or 3 times, upon getting chopped, for the third time she approached the panel and wanted to basically have an exchange with the icon Rodney and told Rodney OTA would never. So how do we feel like marketing and management plays into that?
Stop letting people slide. Like, stop letting them think it's okay to look a fool, be a fool, not be a category, not, bring it, and they still make it good. It gives a false expectation, a false sense of, I'm that girl when you're not that girl.
Oh, you're speaking the language.
Hi,
Ooh.
I'm Mr. Johnson. Joseph Cedric Fitz.
There you go.
In Josephine defense, I will say when it comes down to management, Josephine has too many people in New York that say that they love her, but yet they still let Ballroom exploit her for the entertainment of all of us. Yeah, y'all kikiing at her and all this kind of stuff and everything, but without calling her names or whatever, we all have someone in our family that clock don't go all the way to 12. I'm sorry. So my thing is, why would you keep pushing her out there? Like why not say just go have fun? Oh girl, they chopped you. Don't worry about it. This is just for fun, right? Versus saying, cause you're gonna eat it, Josephine, bitch. You got it. Go ahead, Josephine. Cause then when she get to the she got to the mainstream ball, Josephine was really pissed off. When she got chopped, she was she was pissed off. She put you to a glass up and she was like, you're chopping me in a mainstream ball. If this was OTA, you would never. And then Rodney looked around and was like, exactly, this is a real ball. You know, and I just feel like people, when they wanted to put it on me at first when I was going against OTA for that reason. But now look at it. What if she had a meltdown in Philadelphia? I'm not saying nothing that's private. It's on Ballroom throwbacks. It's everywhere. She had a whole meltdown in Philadelphia when she first got chopped. Because guess what she did? She traveled from New York and she went all the way to Philadelphia to a mainstream ball. And they chopped her because they don't know nothing about this Josephine person or whatever. And they chopped her, this is a real ball, what's going on? And she had a whole meltdown on the side, and everyone's like, oh my God, Josephine cutting up. And it makes me start thinking about the people in Ballroom. Maybe they clock don't go to 12 either, because how is y'all allowing this and how y'all now saying, girl, Josephine carrier? No, y'all did this. So in her defense, I just think it's a lot of people in New York. Yeah, you going up for, Josephine be out there on the front line. When we was out there for O'Shea, Josephine was looking up at the top of the building. Stop looking at from the top of the fucking building and save black lives, bitch. That's what she was doing at the and then everybody looked up like, yeah, bitch, why y'all looking at that? You know, so she gonna say the stuff that don't nobody want to say, but know that 80 normal person wouldn't look up in the sky and go, bitch, what you looking down for? We'll just be like, look at them bitches, you know. So I think she needs to be protected. Allow her to have fun, but management-wise, I don't know who her friends are that's allowing her to keep doing this stuff. You have to do this on the microphone so people can hear you.
Oh my God, no. But so like y'all talking about her management team, this is the best. Is the marketing for her okay? Because
the marketing is fucking over. When you look at the marketing, so I was actually gonna ask, do we all believe in the room with the saying that all publicity do we believe with the old saying that all publicity is good publicity?
I don't speak on this. So I think when it comes to OTA, I've heard a lot of people say that. So not a lot of people, y'all too. And I kind of disagree as far as OTA being the situation that messed up New York's ballroom scene. I think it's what you said is the accountability of people not having that conversation that they need to have with people. Because I think OTA is a space that creates a space for everybody to come through. It's not a ball. So even though they have categories set up in that space, it does create a space for people to feel like they're a part of. It is like that practice space, like that introductory space, that space where if you like the ballroom culture, you get to come get a chance to see how and compete and dance and vibe and fun. Now, when we allow the people who come into those spaces to go into other spaces thinking because they were in OTA, then they got a different outcome in OTA, that they would get that same outcome in other spaces. That's where we do the service at. Not necessarily OTA, it's the after conversations that's not being had. It's the, like you said, letting people go up for categories that they just know that they, you know what I'm saying? So, and also when it comes to Josephine specifically, knowing that there is a mental issue there, I think that for me, like I'm not saying it's an enabling thing, but more so, I think the word you said was, girl, go out there and have fun. Like, this is gonna be something for you to do versus, no, bitch, you turning it like you deserve to win. I think the situations need to be the language. Yeah, the language. It's the language. And because the language how are we to know that people aren't saying, you know?
We don't, but we don't know. We don't.
So
No, I am going by first-hand experience of being at OTA.
And seeing people like, oh, you're turning it.
Just like, give your. Only reason I don't really speak on. Why is doing this on this side?
There you go. You got because you blocking the signal coming from the bottom.
You know.
Like this.
I know, but I didn't want to be like this and stuff. But okay.
You gotta hold it like Oprah.
I was. Okay. I think it's my powerful voice. I don't normally speak on things unless I've had experience with them, real life, in person, seeing it face to face. And what I seen in New York that turned me was Josephine went out there for commentator versus commentator, right? And when she went out there for commentator versus commentator, the kids had jumped on stage, they voted for Josephine and everything. I mean, she off every beat. But they voted for her, they did everything right, and the people was going up in the crowd, that's Josephine, right? And then right after that, I came and I got the microphone, and Kevin was like, so I started commentating, and then Monster LaBeija chopped me. Right after Josephine, so I said, wait a minute. Now, if you don't like my chant, and it's getting old, you're tired of that, do something different, J. Rock. That's acceptable. But what's not acceptable is for you to just, and that's what got us into it, because I wasn't trying to say it, but I said, you let that get through. And you chopped me for chanting a legendary chant that has got people to win.
So, J-Rock, question, do you want them to hold you to the same standard they hold you?
Well, no, they need to hold Josephine to the same standards that they hold everybody in ballroom to.
Well, no. I think, but we've already found the issue, right? And I think the bigger issue is verbiage, language, right? And we want to make sure that we are saying the right things, because even what you said, we can refer that back to the crystal clip.
Mm-hmm.
What did she tell her? She said,
it's not your fault, Hollow, it's not your fault.
And she also said, I'm not saying she's not beautiful, she's just not looking beautiful
tonight. It's the language.
You know, it's the language. And it's like, if you are freshly into ballroom, certain things you're not gonna receive it the way a person may have intended it to be received. Like what you said, like, if people are saying, and I get it, like, Josephine is a prime example of a lot of shit. Like, her marketing is phenomenal. She goes out there, she's fearless, that's why now she's a name. Everybody knows her name, right? And even when we talk about what ballroom, the beauty within ballroom, I love that ballroom uplifts people, regardless of what you like. You go out there looking crazy. But because she kept coming back, they allow her now to give her roses. But again, on the backside, who she needs somebody that can communicate to her to make it make sense to her. Because although people are saying, yes, Josephine, you eating it, it still needs to make sense to her that I'm eating it for this.
Right. That's what I was gonna say. Like, if you had a regular ball or something, and Josephine got her team, you got top out, like, well, bitch.
What is it too far though? Like, how do you bring somebody back from that mentality when it's too far gone?
Because she got balls after her. She got like people doing her shit.
So now she automatically expect, like, I'm the shit, I need to win. You know, like, these people going up for me. You know, people thinking they all around whatever, or their face, or, you know, how do you come back from?
I feel like you can always come back again. It's going to require somebody who she's closest to have, you know, that type of conversation with her. Because when you think about it, even on the scene, you know, let's say me and John have a conversation. Revolution have a conversation. It's gonna hit different. I had the same conversation with him that I had with AJ, but it's gonna hit different because me and AJ's relationship is a little closer, right? So it's gonna take somebody who she's closest to just bring it back. Because I believe, again, it's just a matter of having the conversation.
And hungry over time too.
Yeah,
over
definitely.
time, it's like in different arenas. Like we all had. I don't know about her, but in Atlanta, we all had somebody that was a little slower, that was still a part of the community. But what was the word? The clock didn't go to 12.
I love that.
But we had somebody who clock didn't go to 12, but they still wanted to be in the space. They still came out. They when they rolled, they may not hit each element like everybody else did, but they did what they can do in that moment. You know what I'm saying? So we judging them on them in that space and in a Kiki kind of facility. But if they were to come to a bar, let them, hey baby, the stuff you did at the Kiki, hey, tonight, look, you're not gonna be able to do that. You know, and that's what, you know, I think that's where it's missing.
Right.
If you celebrate them, you make them feel important, and maybe they make it to that point. I don't know. But and then another thing is, everything is on free will. You know, this thing, if somebody wants to continue to go out there and continue to get chopped or continue, that's them. It's not like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you having a conversation with them, letting them know, like, baby, this is, you know, a real kind of ball, and they still go out there, then that's for them. But if they continue to go out there and continue to get chopped, even though the clock ain't going to 12, they're gonna stop. Like, nobody's gonna continue to continue.
I believe in that too.
Well, we've had a couple of people.
I was just about to say, are you about to bring up who I think you're about to bring up?
Bitch. We have someone here, and see, I can say their name because they don't give a damn. We had Barbie.
Barbie, bitch. What?
Barbie will Vogue. Look, wait. Hold on and wait for it.
She didn't always have it, though. Right?
Barbie will do a breakdown for your life. But when it got time to dip, it never, ever connected. It just never connected. And we were just like, damn, she got a lot of hands. She got a break, and she will start voguing from the time the club started to every hip hop song, every R&B song. And she can vogue, but she just never ended it right. It just never ended. We'd be like, okay. It was always, it never gave a, so, and then it never dipped right. And one day, bitch, it was when we started doing the Wednesday nights, both nights, Barbie came out there and she did all that stuff. We like, all right, yeah, you know, let Barbie go. And bitch, when she dipped, the shoe came off. Bitch, but it hit, and when it hit, the entire club went in an uproar. And I think Barbie looked around like, bitch, I hit it, and then hit another one. And then another.
That makes sense. Look. This was like it went off.
Right. So when it started connecting, from that point on, Barbie was hitting the deals, and then, but we all know the state that Barbie's in. Like a lot of people like, what house is in it? What? And I be looking at them like, don't worry about that. Don't worry about it. People look at me like, what house is he in? Leave him alone. Leave him alone. But that's me protecting Barbie. Right. Because Barbie went off on somebody. You know what I'm saying? It's only certain people that can deal with Barbie. It's like Polka. I know I can. AJ can deal with Barbie, you know, but you have to know what's going on up there with Barbie. You see what I'm saying? But like you said, Dion, but Barbie is still a part of our community. You see what I'm saying? I took Barbie on a bus one time when we used to go down to Houston. I would rent a bus and pay for it just to go down there for one night to Vogue and show them what we doing at Vogue Academy and fuck bitches up. And then we'll come back and make sure everybody at school, work, and everything the next morning, right? Yeah, baby, I gotta get my license together. She looking like, so why we ain't getting on bus rides? And we've been talking about that. Magic School Bus is coming back, Mr. Frizzle. But one time I took Barbie, let me tell you what Barbie did. We got to 45 South, like right past Oak Cliff. Barbie said, stop the bus. Stop the bus. I pulled over. Everybody was in the bus looking like, what the fuck he mean? I know Barbie. So I slowly pulled over to the side. I said, what's wrong, Barbie? He was like, no. Let me out. This don't feel right. Bitch, we just left Cedar Springs right here, all the way down 45, right past Oak Cliff. So you know what I did? I let Barbie get out. I said, let me get to a safe spot. I let him out where the bus is because I know he can get on the bus. And then the next time, it was a little joke in the Vogue Academy said, like when you leave the group, they say, oh, this bitch got off the bus. We get that from Barbie. Like if somebody leave the group, we say, bitch, she got off the bus. But we got that from Barbie. So the next time Barbie came, everybody was looking at me like, no. Come on, Barbie, let's go down there, right? We got there. Barbie tried to go out there for everybody's LSS. And all I kept doing was going, not yet. And he'll go, okay. Then they'll be like, such as Phoebe, Revlon. He'll go, not yet. And he'll step back and he'll go, okay. Then I was like, ooh, he got an itch. And I said, Barbie, wham. I was like, damn. So it's all about like I said, it's about who's managing them, but good publicity can be bad publicity with bad management. That's when publicity becomes bad. All publicity can be good publicity if you have good management. Because even like the toxic stuff, somebody has to tell you when to turn it off or when it's went too far. You see what I'm saying? Because we know that America loves toxicity. It's entertainment, right? But somebody has to let you know that, hey, look, this is not the situation for that right there. Because somebody can really get hurt behind your words and what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? But if you don't have good management, then your publicity will go bad.
Right, and so I want to segue into something real quick before this will be our wrap up topic. Is how we manage the language, right? So that's yeah, that's right.
Y'all expect me to have a nurse?
What are you sorry for? So you had made this bitch. This probably gonna be playing in my head for the rest of the night. The whole thing about Courtney, right, and how people are reading her, and what you said about being going back to this whole thing about all publicity is good publicity, and the thing about it is when you are coming up in the scene and you haven't reached the level of understanding certain languages or what's actually trying to be conveyed to you, i.e., with that situation, they was like, you know, she need breasts. Courtney, she's not interpreting the ballroom shade that's being spoken because she just doesn't know. She's like, well, I mean, bitch, I'm only 14. Then they like,
If you go on Tiz or Chops Television Network and hit the last live of the Ballroom Brunch, you can hear where Courtney was trying to explain to them how the older generation just come down on the kids and don't realize like how they're mentally messing them up. And she was like, she's been voguing in her gay mama's living room since she was 8 years old because she was around ballroom people. So she said when she was 14, she came out and it was like, girl, your chest is flat. You ain't got no titties. You ain't got that. And she just kept saying, but I'm 14. Like, bitch, what the fuck? Like, what am I supposed to have titties? Like, what the fuck? And then she said, she would go to the village and be like, oh, you're late. You're late. She said, I've been here since 6 o'clock. Your bitch is late. What the fuck do you mean? So we were laughing in the brush because we like, no shade that is like,
yeah.
and she was like, it just was crazy to her. And she said what got her was when they was like, oh, you naughty, Maggie, you're a naughty, you're not. She said, she looked at her friend and said, what's a knot? This man that she like, girl, you is this and you that. Oh, I gotta see her out there and stuff like that. Because bitch, you're not gonna just call me a knot. I don't even know what's going on. You know, so no, but everybody, just like y'all laughing, if y'all look at it, we was falling out. But you start thinking about it, y'all just, yeah. When you come in the ballroom, you don't know what people saying and stuff like that and everything, and you don't notice. And it's really prevalent today. And the reason why she was saying that, because today, back in my day, you be like, oh, they call me, fuck him, I don't care. You know, you brick, your mama, bitch, I don't care. I'm not worried about that. These days, words can really fuck with people. Like, and I wouldn't even just say this generation, this time in society, especially American society, what you say to a young person that's coming to find their tribe can affect them. They've been ostracized other places and saying, oh, I felt, damn, what the fuck is this? I'm ostracizing the gay people too? You know, so that's one of the things where they've been talking about in Ballroom, and we had at that brunch was, when are we gonna stop? I know it's our culture, but when are we gonna change the language that we know to where it can still be the language, it can still be shady, it can still be fun, but watch certain things that we say that's triggering like dysphorias and stuff like that. Film queens up at the panel. This bitch got a beard, look at her Adam's apple and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? That kind of stuff, because Ballroom is not just New York. Ballroom is not just Atlanta. Yeah, man, you battle all the time, and we hang out all the time. So when we at the panel and we read each other, we know what we doing. This is Ballroom, right? But if somebody come from California down here, and you say, this a faggot, like, bitch, I don't know you.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? And so, like I told him, I feel like one of the solutions to that is, and everybody looking at me crazy, but then, the other people like, no, that makes sense. Like in the Gulf Coast, one on my right, one on my left, do not cross me. The whole purpose of that was because of Tony Mizrahi. Well, Tony Gorgeous Gucci, which was a Mizrahi at the time. He just got in the ballroom. He didn't know that Pierre was just being So he was kind of hurt because he like, yeah. And be like, and I'm like, what the fuck? Yeah, at the bar. It was like, but then Pierre was like, Tony, what the fuck? Tony looking like, bitch, you just really started.
So I think the solution to the problem too, if I can add another solution, is not changing the language. We need to change the process of which how people are introduced. And what I mean, what that looks like is like, again, when you have somebody fresh into ballroom, instead of jumping straight into like the meat and the gravy of like a specific category like performance runway, sit down and have a conversation.
That's the problem.
And allow them to understand that a lot of this you're not gonna understand this right away, and you have to trust the process. You know what I'm saying? Like explain to them that a lot of things that you're gonna perceive on a national or on a natural everyday type of thing, it's not the same in ballroom. Like even like in our scene here, what triggers me the most is like when there are situations, very minute situations, we love to put the narrative that there's a problem. But from where I'm sitting, I'm like, this is fun. I'm just entertainment for me. I'm enjoying it. Like, you know what I'm saying? And I'm like, I want us to like navigate away from that because we're causing that trauma on them to think, relate that to something that's not. In ballroom, that's not problematic. That's ballroom. In the real world, I can see that being a problem because you don't really know that person, but like you said with the whole Tony thing, Tony being new, he doesn't understand that I'm reading you out of ballroom. This is what the category calls for in order to battle in this category. Versus in the street, if a nigga talking excuse way, it's on site. So yeah, it's very much so like conversation that needs to be had to just bring clarity around. I feel like.
Yeah, I was gonna say honestly, just listening to it, continuing to do things like this help because coming into ballroom, everybody doesn't have a group of people like this to explain the different avenues. I was fortunate enough to come in under someone who showed me clips of ballroom, who explained the difference between the type of shade, you know, and who explained what you're saying when you up there talking about these other people and how to make it competitive rather than personally attacking them. So continuing to have these groups and these lessons and these coaching sessions is a great start, and I really appreciate it.
Yeah, and I was gonna say that you took the words right out of my mouth, Twine. Thank you. You feel the same way? No, but I was gonna say is like it also goes on to like when I like my first generations of people that I brought under me, they all had a process. Like you said, they came in before they ever walked the ball. They sat down and watched their category, went over their categories, watched everybody that's in their category now, the people that started their category, went over the shade, the fights, the inside, the outside, the practice. You know, I think the process. Sometimes we might see a nigga or a girl or whoever and be like, "Oh, bitch, you will be over in this category." And instead of doing the work to make sure that they understand what we put them into, we just throw them out there. So I think, like you said, I agree with you. I think that process, but it's going to be hard to police everybody and say, everybody you bring in, you need to make sure you learn them. Now, how can we, go on and say, you know what I'm saying? How can we go in and make sure that work is being done? The only thing we can do is do it with our people. It starts with us. So, but I do disagree that it's, as far as you were saying, like, you don't feel like it's a ballroom thing and it's a real war thing, but you don't see how it comes into the ballroom. And he made a great example of how it comes into the ballroom. You know what I'm saying? Like me and you know each other, so we know we can read each other and we know we can do each other. And our kids may not know our relationship, they may look at us and be like, that's really wrong. You know what I'm saying? Like even in some situations where we had, like I said, we know each other. People may have looked at us and thought that we were getting to it. So now people that feel like they had to have loyalty to me or loyalty to you, now look at me some kind of way and don't even know, bitch, we finna go home and smoke after this, So I think all of that does play a part into the situation. And J-Rock saying it, we need to figure out, just because a system has been a system for a certain amount of time, don't mean that we see that it's harmful. We see that it's not conducive to the progression of where we're trying to grow. So even in coming in, we could make a thing that we don't, like J-Rock said, stand over here, bitch, don't say nothing. Don't read because that could cause an issue or, but again, it's ballroom, so we can't police grown ass people.
I had a question. So how does all this like tie into the political side? It's not even telling you. How does it? Oh, political side. How does that,
Like, how does your management and marketing tie
into the political realm? Well, if you are being managed the correct way, they will open doors for you to basically be exposed to the political side. I.e., if I was. So again, like the way my journey in ballroom looked is like, so for 7 years, I was very local, doing everything locally. And like I told y'all, if I had to say like who my manager was prior to my dad, um, I was just managing myself, right? So when J Rock began to manage me, it was never he never asked me where I'm going. He was always like, we going here. It was this the category, get ready. It was this show coming on at this time, you need to be on this show. It was, I'm gonna step out, I need you to step in for me on the switchboard. Not me mentally at the time of doing it, I'm not connecting the dots like, this nigga set me up for success. If it was me just being like, well, I mean, okay, I'm there, I'm gonna go. And now when I look back on it, I do have accessibility to like, these more big political names. I'm in these spaces and able to have these conversations because I was being managed in a way to where now I'm respected on these different types of levels. And when it comes down to politically, you do want somebody who is also always going to be strategic in where they're placing you, in the rooms that they're placing you, the connections that they place you with, people that they're telling you, like J Rock would always say, like, you need to go and have a conversation with this person. You need to go talk to this person. It's all, again, your manager has to be well versed. That's why I say, like, you wouldn't want to come into this type of a culture and get someone who is still learning it to manage you, because at the end of the day, it's only but so much that they can show you. Versus if you go into it with somebody who's more seasoned, who has a clear game plan for you, you're gonna get exposed to every realm in that aspect. And I agree with what you said too about the changing of the language. And I would say this, hands on, I feel like we had a test subject, and the test subject here was Vogue Academy. When Vogue Academy first started, I wasn't here yet. It was ran strictly by J Rock. When I came, and he'll tell you this, I felt the type of way because I'm like, your baby and them, that's not gonna turn out good for them, and we would get into it. Like, he was protecting them like, bitch, they was his offspring. And I'm like, well, bitch, I was here first. And I still said what the fuck I said. And what I mean is that, like, he was at that space where he felt like, again, I want to try to do something different. I want to try to create a different narrative. However, what ended up happening is still, I feel like the work that we have to do is, it's going to be a lot of work because it's not everybody's going to be on the same track with us as far as like doing that part of the work as teaching the culture. But what he realized was that work still needs to be done. Even if you are going to change the language, you still have to explain, because what ultimately ended up happening was we created a whole bunch of Josephines. They literally started feeling themselves, and all they did was they turned on him. And I'm like, girl, she was saving y'all from getting the fuck red. Like, you know what I'm saying? And it was just like, I was like, well, see that? This is what I'm trying to tell you. Like, tough love, maybe it can be changed and navigated, but I feel like where you missed the mark is you didn't stop to acknowledge to them, like, this is something different, and I don't want y'all to start feeling like this, like, because I'm protecting y'all, that everybody else is gonna do the same thing, you know what I'm saying? And I want you to be prepared in that way, so that you're not going into it gullible, or you're not going into it with a false narrative, because ultimately that's really what empowers people to retaliate. Like, when you have those people who are, constantly, you be seeing, y'all all see on the lives where, I come on and I might say something, everybody ready to take my fucking head off. I'm like, I'm just trying to save y'all in the long run. But yeah, ultimately, I mean, the work will never, and that's what I do. I also enjoy is that the fact that that's why people stay in ballroom so long, because honestly, because it's gonna constantly be newer generations, And I feel like that's another thing that we have to stay strong about is because like people get to a point in their barber career where they get tired and they get burnt out and like we start to lose the story. We start to lose those predominant figures that could be still navigating and steering the ship, but they get to the point where they like, well, bitch, if I can't do it by myself, you know. So I feel like if we just build a team, maybe even like another solution, which I was doing with House Lives Matter. That experience, and I only got to go one time. My experience with that, I feel like that's something that could help us because in those type of settings, like you said, it was a lot of information that honestly, being in ballroom and being in those conversations, I'm like, well, damn, shit, it's way deeper than just being on the floor.
Well,
Like,
on our last meeting, I advocated because we're doing a national conference in October in New York. But then after that, the next thing we'll be doing is we're gonna do a leaders retreat here. So we're gonna try to get some of the leaders from the mainstream and some of the leaders from the PPC. We're gonna go do actual retreat in like a hotel somewhere where we have a place, and then we're gonna do an actual full convening in February, most likely probably during Mardi Gras weekend. I'm trying to do it. And we'll have an actual full Hot Life Matter convening to where we just send the thing that I have to do. So yeah, there's a lot of work that's happening on the back end.
Well, when it ties into politics, that was another political move. When you start getting up into certain spaces and getting to certain tables, you make sure that you pull somebody up there with you to make sure that they get it. See, House Lives Matter for me, I got pulled into House Lives Matter because I got a big mouth and everybody, I didn't give a fuck, right? So it took somebody like Amina from Philadelphia to shut me down. Nobody in Ballroom could ever shut me down. They couldn't shut me up or whatever. I said what the fuck I said, right? But Amina, she had got with me and she had got intellectual with me. And when she had got that intellectual, I said what the fuck I said. I was in House Lives Matter like, yeah. And everybody was looking around the room like, bitch, shut up. Because what I'm like this, make it make sense to me. If you can't make it make sense to me, you still sound stupid and it don't sound like it make, I'm going to reach you, right? And I'm going to go off. But if you speaking to me in a way that I understand and it's intellectual and you putting it one by one, because I was like, these young people is so fucked up and stuff, they don't know what they doing and stuff, blah, 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 blah. And Amina said, the young people you are talking about, have you seen the news? How old was this person after fighting the fight in the streets? How many people your age was getting stuff thrown at them, fires? And I'm looking like, no shit, our old ass ain't getting no motherfucking streets to be doing no motherfucking rally. It was the youth. You see what I'm saying? She said, I'll never forget this, every revolution in American history was not started by no old ass bitches. They was all young. And somebody said it all the time, Martin Luther King. He was in his day. He died in his, so all that shit that he did was in his youth. You see what I'm saying? Revolutionary people that are not scared to go and open their fucking mouths are the youth. You see what I'm saying? And when she started, that was before me getting Kiki scene started. That was another thing that made me be like, well, I need to start pouring into the youth more because they're gonna open up their mouth because I forgot. When I was a kid, I was the one that was yelling at the icons protecting the Gulf Coast. When I was in my 20s and it was like, Texas, bitch, ain't nobody coming on motherfucking Texas. And then I used to be like, ain't nobody coming on motherfucking New York. Who the fuck are you, you brick? Bitch, I used to go back and forth. You see what I'm saying? You brick and all. But about the political move, like I said, about the political move, like she said, I am really big on, like Lamel Ebony, I saw how Lamel used to navigate me in product. Everywhere he be like, listen, you gotta go to this bar. We be like, well, we wanna go to this bar. Fuck that. You're going to this bar. I'm like, I don't even know what. Okay, let's go. We get there. Lamel like, how you doing? This is J-Rock. This is J-Rock Ebony. He walks this. This is the icon. This is their stuff. And I was like, why you gotta introduce me? I don't want everybody to know my name. When Lamel stopped traveling, and me and Prada started going by ourselves, they're like, J-Rock, Prada. Me and Prada used to look at each other like, bitch, when we used to go to Vogue nights, they used to be like, that's J-Rock, oh my God, that's Prada. And we used to be like, oh, bitch, we got a name. You know what I'm saying? But it was the Lamel kept saying that, and now those people are saying, you need to get them bitches from Texas. Ooh, That bitch Prada, she real. Y'all need to get that bitch. And that motherfucking J-Rock, don't sleep on him. And it got to the point I would go to New York and be sitting Indian style, get ready to vote, and Jack come over and tell all of Miss Rockies, don't worry about none of these bitches. Take him out. Bitch, I didn't know I even had it like that. I'm scared myself. Like, bitch, I don't know if I'm gonna win. Bitch. Now you done put more pressure on me, right? Now everybody looking at you like. But it's like you said, when these new people come in the ballroom, that's one thing that I be trying to tell them. Like, you can't lead and manage someone if you don't know what you're doing. You haven't been here long enough to understand a culture. Like, it's like a lot of people now coming in the ballroom the same way they want to go into the workforce. I want to be the manager. Well, do you even know how to do the job yet?
Right.
Like, I mean, at least let's do the job. You may move up quick, because you may be one of them people. I just said that in the room in there when we was in the I didn't have a chance to really, I had to travel because I was a young leader in the Gulf Coast. They put father on me before I was even ready for it. I wanted to make a name for J-Rock Ebony so it wouldn't like make my house look bad. Like when they say the father down there, oh, that motherfucker that don't win nothing, what you want? I didn't never want that. But I ain't had no choice. I had to step up. People was not stepping up down here. So when I stepped up, I had to be a young leader, but I picked up real good. And because of LaMel connecting me with Rodney and Shannon Garcon and Stewart and all this, they was in my ear all the time. And I was like, I ain't doing this. Fuck this. I'm in the United States Navy. I don't need no motherfucking ballroom. And then they'll be like, well, you ain't going nowhere, so I don't know what to tell you. You still got to do the damn job. You're like, what the fuck? I gave up father like 6 times. I'm not no father. I don't want to be no father, So it's the right people in your ear and telling you what balls to go to, but they can't tell you what balls to go to if they ain't been to no balls.
That part. That part right here.
So two questions.
Yes.
Because both you and Sharon have said it, that he had an opportunity to have someone. Everyone doesn't come into Ballroom. So what advice would you give to an individual who may need that person that's pushing you to say be at this ball or to be a manager? And the second question, I guess it's the same question.
Well, that's why you asking that question just opened up this right here. Everybody really gets offended. And I've been trying my best not to say it, but then they'll keep on doing stuff to make me say it. Out of towners. That's the part of the out of town. It wasn't to say, because bitch, y'all not from here. It was to say, I have a formula of we all help each other here. I don't ever want it to be something that was thrown in as a division because you don't know that person or you don't know that person. But we know everybody that's here, and I was navigating all houses the same way I was navigating Ebony. I didn't care if you was a Garcon or Tishy or whatever. When we went out of town in Atlanta, the houses used to gag at the Gulf Coast because it could be a Garcon on station and and we like, I'm walking a Chanel on the stage, which was a Curia, and everybody in Ballroom looking like, wait, what's going on? We are the Gulf Coast. We had no choice because they used to look at us bad and y'all can't do nothing. So we started talking to each other across this coast to where were you going? Well, what ball we hit next? Well, where we gonna go as a unit for this region? And then when we went out there for the region, we started bringing back trophies, and then they started giving us respect. And it seemed like every time someone moved from out of town, they already have their mindset of the ballroom that they know, right? And then they come in and they see and they start applying what they already know from, and it don't work, right? And then they start looking like we are I'm tired of hearing this word, the gatekeepers. No, I'm just saying it's been going around here lately since that sis and I've been hearing gatekeeper like 2 weeks now. But it seemed like we was trying to be mean, but the real thing with it is we talk about this all the time. We was actually too nice. Because when people come, we be like, oh, they moving here. Like we got some people in Houston, that's some big names. That's been moved here lately. We normally be like, oh my God, they coming. Now we got some names, right? But then them names come with their influence, right? So now we didn't let them in. We done told the kids, you know what it is? Bitch. And now they got respect for them. And then they come doing their shit that they do from there over here. And guess who get the back end of it? Me. You didn't tell us that it was going to be like this. They said this, they did this. But they never go to the people that's saying it. And you don't, it's hard, y'all bitch, don't be trying to be no leader. It's hard trying to protect this person without giving the information. Like, say, for instance, if I'm from California and I move here, if I'm causing a problem, it's hard to tell me I'm causing a problem if you can't tell me who the fuck's saying that. I can't tell you that because this kid is not, they don't want to. They've told me in confidentiality. And it be little minute, stupid stuff, but it adds up to this big ball. So then when you try to address when you try to address people that are not from here, they'll get upset because they think like, bitch, why y'all trying to be the boss? Y'all trying to know, he's telling y'all that shit don't work. With the mindset of the people that live in Texas. It's a regional thing. If I go to Chicago, you from Chicago, they think different.
They are like,
country ass, bring that country shit up here and I can't go when I moved to Erie, Pennsylvania, perfect example, and I'll leave it at that. When I moved to Erie, Pennsylvania, they was calling me Icon. Bitch, I wasn't even legend yet. They was calling me Icon, all this kind of stuff. You think I went up there and started, man, like, oh, these bitches think I'm an icon right now. Bitch, I'm just start taking over shit. I'm just to run shit. I still was like, so when y'all have a ball, what do y'all do? How does these people come? Who is that house? How is they gonna react if I say that? What does that person do? Who is she? Who's on the alliance? How do they act? Are they mean? Are they nice? It's like, J-Rock, you got a lot of questions. I don't want to offend nobody. I'm an out-of-towner, bitch. I can't just come here. Y'all have a formula. What I do in the Gulf Coast, y'all might look at me like, bitch, don't do that shit. You see what I'm saying? So I did it that way. So when in the Gulf Coast, I be same. And either they mold, either we get some people that mold and finally say, this is the way we do things, and they add, it's good to add other things on, but once they add theirs on and they get going, some people stay, and most of them, this is just the facts, they leave. So they come fuck shit up, and then they leave. But the people that still live here has to deal with the damage control. So to answer your question, in whole, we were all together. That was the formula of the Gulf Coast. If I used to always put on my Facebook profile, hey, these are the balls that I'm going to. I don't just go to balls. I go to balls for a reason. These are the balls I'm going to. And people from the Gulf Coast be like, let me plan for that ball right there. Or, like Paris said, if you walk in runway or something like that, and I know, bitch, this is the time where what you doing on this day? You really need to go to that ball. And you be like, why? Trust me, you need to go to that ball because this is the time to make your name. Because all these people that's on your level are going to be there. That's what you gotta do. And it's been in tune with media, the right people, who talking, who saying what. They don't like Kelly, but pay attention. She know every fucking thing going on the underground when it comes to ballroom and the back door and the dealings and the politics. If you just listen, you know what I'm saying? Just listen to what she's saying. Kelly's never making stuff up. Kelly's taking what's coming to her phone. So if she's taking what's coming to her phone, she's saying what everybody want to say, but they're scared to say it. You know what I'm saying? So, and then watching like iconic point of view, you got Harold, Rodney, Arnold. People been doing this for years. You know what I'm saying? So if you just follow. Like I said, just follow the people that's been going out there. Like at first it was only me. First it was just only me. Cause Prada not gonna tell you shit. She knows, she just not gonna tell you because she don't give a fuck. She's gonna tell you that, right? It was only me. But now you got myself, you guys the Paris that have been here, been there, and been in conversations outside of the Gulf Coast. Got Dion now that they came from Atlanta that can tell you, don't go to Atlanta doing that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, they don't, no, that's gonna get you chopped. I would know, Dion is from there. He gonna tell you, no, they don't chop. Or either he can say, oh, they gonna be on the panel? Oh yeah, watch out for this person, watch out for that person. Or this is what they like and this is what they don't like. You see what I'm saying? So
Yeah, and piggybacking off of that, I would just say, yeah, piggybacking off of that, I would just say lean on your local leadership because a lot of us we're leaders within our house, but we also are leaders within in the community. It's several times where if somebody from another, I'll just use my house. People from my house say, "Oh yeah, I practiced with the parents today. You know, whatever." She was able to give me a different element or a different perspective of things. That's okay. And as leaders of the community, it's our job to make sure that the community is abreast to whatever it is, that you're looking for. So if you find the right leader to lean on, we are here to help the community and you yourself develop into what you.
Yeah, and I would say, as far as you saying specifically looking for a manager, I think that plays a part into the house that you pick. So pay attention to where you're going and how those leaders in those houses move because that will be your management. So, also, like you said, a lot of us, I've done it. I've seen a kid out there about to walk, ain't it juicy? Could be a Nike, could be a Old Navy, could be whatever. If I see something wrong, I'm gonna tell you, like, I know your friend probably said something this, but like, I would like this or something like that, or hey, you walking a little too fast, slow down, or hey, don't wear eyebrows, or hey, I don't know. For real, I didn't know. I wear eyebrows. So many different kids around different little things that I could see that can help your, you know what I'm saying?
You gotta talk.
Oh yeah. But it's just so for one. So yeah. So think about who the house that you want to join, because that's ultimately going to be your manager. The leaders of that house will be your manager. Even though you can make your choice to have a outside manager, somebody that you trust, and thing, but it still can cause conflict inside your house. So that's going to be the first thing. The second thing is pay attention to how people move and what they do, how they talk to their house and how they manage their house and how they talk to the members that they see that's not in the house that may come and ask for, because everybody may not be a good manager. You may come up to somebody and ask them for some advice and they may be like, bitch, you gotta just I know it's members that I even had in my house that would not tell you shit, and I don't think that that's nothing wrong because you do have other members that will, you know what I'm saying? So you do have that balance. So don't expect everybody to be a leader or manager to you, even if you've seen them do things to other things. So.
And so just to wrap it all back up, I want to say, ultimately from this conversation, what I have even gathered is that the work that I need to do for self is about how I communicate certain things. Because a lot of our conflicts do come from communication problems, right? And one communication problem is our interaction with people who are not from here, right? So we can say that abroad. However, if we want to unpackage what that looks like, is again, it's more towards the people who come here and leave, not people who are not from here that are still here doing the work, right? And I have to now make sure in this new day and age that I am making sure that the conversations that I am having are using the right languages as well, right? Because again, I think it still all ties back into the process of how we're having it. Where when we first come in or people move here, we do on our side from where I'm standing. I'm like, well, bitch, I'm excited, bitch. I got fat girls moving out. Like, bitch, we had girls moving in like Icon Pool. Dee would come down here and that type of shit for me was a big thing because these are like names that you see on YouTube. These are like the girls of the girls, and it's like, oh, well, they gracing our city. And so now, for us, it's like, yes, we live to see when the people come down here, and we allow everybody to maneuver the way that they maneuver. And it's like, then once shit happens, our process has not worked. So we need to try a different process. And what I mean by it is like I said, once shit does go left, now the communication is not effective because naturally now we're going to be speaking from a passionate space where it may be received incorrectly or improperly, where now we get this title of, oh, they're trying to control this. They are trying to gatekeep something. When if the process looked differently, if the conversations were different, that narrative wouldn't be the first narrative that we went to. So ultimately, like when we talk about again marketing and managing, it's communicated. It's a communicate space type of thing. You want to make sure that you yourself too find confidence to have these type of conversations. Ballroom is not built for the weak. And what I mean by that is if you're gonna be timid, you will never be known. Ultimately, that's the whole goal. Everybody wants that to be known. Everybody wants everybody in the ballroom to know your name. They can never know your name if you never talk. So get in the comments, have the conversations. Even if you feel like you're not being seen, I'm telling you, like, bitch, when I came out, I was not bitch on the keyboards heavy. I don't care. Like, no, definitely. Even more now. But heavy on the keyboards, like in the comments, having these interactions, like don't be afraid to like engage with people because again, it's all about the experience. Even if you do run into those people who are like nasty and like standoffish, what do you take from that? Take that, okay, well, I see that I can't deal with you like that because you may not be my cup of tea. But for somebody else, that may be like my whole thing, and AJ can attest to this, like AJ has been my test dummy. What?
Nope.
That's I think that's the perfect word. So when AJ began this whole wanting to have a relationship with me, I'm telling y'all this firsthand, and AJ will attest to this. It was not given. It gave, oh, sister, and it was like, stop calling me that, and it will probably never be that, you know. And for somebody who doesn't know me, you would have thought that and took that like, damn, you such a bitch. But to me, I'm only gearing you up for what you want or what you say that you want. I'm not, you know, cookies and cream. I'm very much so. I'm building resilience because that's how I've gotten what I've gotten. And if you truly want this interaction, you're gonna work for that. I'm not the type of person to say, even like when it comes down to me assisting people, yeah, a lot of people come up to me and say, will you teach me how to vote? My immediate response is always, I'll see. Because you saying it, but if you're not putting in the work, what am I gonna do? Because all I'm gonna do is just, you know, again, navigate you, but that's only a partial piece that I can do. You still have to meet me halfway with that process. Like if J Rock came to me and said, oh, go there, but he told me and now I'm not even focused on what I gotta do, he's done his job. What do I pick up now? You know what I'm saying? So definitely build up that confidence, build up that courage. Don't just allow everything to kind of play emotionally on you. Like, get to a mental space to where you really are not taking things personal, honestly. Like, that's ultimately the best advice I can give you, and that's the easiest way for you to build connections with people, because when you start to oversee things and you start to, like, dump doubt or question, like, your existence or, not for real. Everybody, but if you feel it like, you know, this may be a testimony, you know, this may be something that may, tomorrow you're gonna wake up and be like, you know, like, that was a word for me. But yes, definitely, you want to create that type of mentality, that way that you are able to receive all of what Ballroom has to offer from everybody within the culture, because again, every connection is legit.
That was that manager part. The last thing, that manager part, when she was saying you have to speak, you have to say stuff, you have to do that. Yeah, you do when it's the right time. And when I say when it's the right time, when you know that you are mentally in a space to do that. You see what I'm saying? Because a lot of people are not going back and forth on Facebook or even saying, well, girl, I sat you, that's what, you know what I'm saying? Because then when somebody else come back and read, but when somebody come back and read, and now you're not in that mental space and y'all get into it, because you know you're not a girl that talk on no face, you just a hands-on type of bitch. You know what I'm saying? So know when it's the right time. And I say that out of, first, my well, bitch, no shade, that's basically Zaire. To be honest with y'all think she never says anything. If y'all knew this girl, she don't say anything. Bitch, we don't even know she in the house. Bitch, she don't say nothing, right? She don't really interact with people like that. But every now and then, you know, she get into it, boom, she gonna say her little shit. Like, watch how it just stop. And then people be saying, and Zaire, you Princess Zaire. Nothing. Because I say what I got to say, I'm on to something else. But you have to be in the right headspace, you see what I'm saying, to get involved in that. Or have a manager that's gonna do it for you. You don't have to go out there and say, cause I fucked all you bitches up. You can just be like, chill, J-Rock crazy, you know, cause my grand fucked you bitches up. So now you don't look like you being this bitch you can only just be like, he crazy, y'all know right? But at the end of the day, they're not gonna get mad at you because they heard J-Rock said, he fucked him up. They can't get mad at you, but I put the word out there. So now that I put the word out there and I'm out there like, I do everything intentional. Every fucking thing I do is intentional. So when I'm saying stuff like, fuck them up, yeah, and I'm doing all that in the background of the video, I'm doing it because when everybody watch that video, they're gonna remember that. You see what I'm saying? When I keep, the demons in the building, and they're gonna be like, it makes you marketing and advertising. You see what I'm saying? Now you're gonna always remember that clip. You're gonna always remember what was said in that clip, and it's gonna be, then when you see that person in Detroit, you know, Miami, you see what I'm saying? You're the demon. And you're the demon. And now she's looking like this, like, I'll tell you, this is Diane right here when she got down. And then when she get finished, who the fuck is that? She's talking to me, I don't even know who that is. I'm like, oh my God. I'm just saying, she don't talk to bitches. She just don't want to talk about it. You gotta realize, some people gotta feel you out. Like, why are you talking to me? I don't even know you. You just saying, hey. Bitch, I don't know why you coming into my life. It's a lot of us like that. You know what I'm saying? Me, I'm an extrovert, period. Bitch, you talk to me, I'm talking to you. Bitch, I see you at work, I'm gonna embarrass you. Hey! Yeah, bitch. I'm gonna talk to you. But there's some people, due to whatever's going on in our lives, that you don't know why do you want to talk to me? Or like, why are you, especially when you done seen a bitch over and over and over and over, and now you're like, hey! Girl, what's going on? Who been in your DMs? But that's another story.
Yeah, but I thank each and every one of y'all for coming. I definitely do believe, like you said, Dion, that these type of things are gonna help in progressing us into a more positive space. I love having conversations. If y'all don't really know, I do love having conversations, especially around like ballroom. Like I said, like House Lives Matter. That experience is something that I will never forget, and I cherish the most because those conversations that we're having are happening in that room allow my mentor and how I view ballroom to change. Like I at that very moment stopped looking at ballroom as just trying to be that girl on the floor, and that's when I really tapped into like wanting to do the work, like actually doing the teaching, spreading the knowledge that I've gained.
And I think your voice in that moment was so important too, because before that, we had only heard J-Rock in her space. Mm-hmm. So to have you come out there and advocate for like a different generation and like asking the questions that you was asking and getting the information you were getting. No, but she was and it made me like want to come and do more with you. So I think that continue conversations, continue work, and unveiling. One of the things I did want to stop before we go into a lot of conversations is when we come into. I'm make quick now. No, but I think a lot of times, like when we was in town hall, when I said this before we come back from any type of conflict, before letting the person come back into the scene and be some kind of resolution, I think that's the same kind of conversation that we need to have as far as like how you said now we get and now we having a conversation that's like, oh, it's shade because we now think. I think a lot of the free conversations need to happen. A lot of us are friends or are close enough to be able to call each other and be like, bitch, what's going on? And bitch, we know we got a ball next week. Let's figure out this shit before this ball because we don't want to have this shit happen, you know, or even not even into next week. Like, we got a situation happen tonight. The next morning, I need to be on the phone with my girl, like, bitch, you my bitch. What's going on? You know, let's keep it real with me. How can we figure the situation out? You know, I know everybody's not going to be open to being that mature and moving like that, but for the ones who can, I think that will be another step towards us moving in a different kind of direction. And I'm thinking about do that. I've been doing that with multiple people that I haven't had conversations with in the past, and seeing that maybe because I didn't have this conversation is why this outcome happened. You know what I'm saying? So,
right, and I want to bring something to the forefront since this is already broadcasted. And again, I like to use my own personal experiences as references. And so, from the outside looking in, a lot of people may perceive me, Dion and Shirek's relationship as very like a war, like an ongoing war, right? And Dion actually called. Don't want to talk about the initial reason why he called, but on the phone conversation, we navigated to what we were experiencing. And through having that conversation, I think, did I talk to you? Or I think I talked to Dad about it. I had a revelation. I told you, I was like, you know what? Something now it all makes sense. I never unpackaged it for myself, what I was internalizing. And it was because of our personal relationship that when everything went down around the melanin ball, what triggered me and what I never actually unpackaged and actually had a conversation around to move forward in a more positive and healthy way with Dion was just the fact that we had a personal relationship, and in that moment, because my character was being repainted a different type of way, and Dion wasn't there to defend that, I was offended. So, I say that just to say that I do believe that more conversations, like you suggested, especially like when we do have these type of like really heated moments in our scene, can just be resolved by having a healthy conversation and really unpackaging everything from both angles. Because once I said that, then Dion was like, you know, I got to take accountability for that because you was my homie, like, and I should have still been there for you in that moment, you know. And at that point, now, you know, we the best of buddies again. And I'm telling you, like, it's so crazy because we, from that moment until that, from the melanin ball to that moment, that was like a 2-year time span. And every time anything would go on in the scene, you would think that, bitch, we just hate each other. And like I said, it was never personal, but in the back of my head, because I wasn't connecting the dots all the way because we had their conversations, I was too holding on and harvesting something that once I just unpackaged it, I was like, oh, okay, I weighed off my shoulder. Like, you know, so don't be scared to have conversations. Always, if you're not understanding something, reach out to that person. You know, you never know what the outcome of that might be, and make sure that you, when you do it, go into it with good intentions, because otherwise, I mean, nothing productive is gonna come from the conversation. So yeah, so
We love you, prepare.
thank y'all for coming. So next week we have emoting is our topic. And it's not just about performance, but in ballroom emoting is a theme. We're gonna unpackage that, see what that looks like. The following week we will do resume building. It'll be dual. So we'll do resume building and the Make Me Know It quiz, where basically it'll be the end of course class based on the grades, participation. We would then release the list of graduates, and then we are having an official graduation ceremony. We're trying to pull Gilead in to do a piece at the graduation ceremony and what that'll look like. But yeah, so okay. So yeah, thank y'all.
So I got
You doing your big one. Today? Yeah. Everybody that came today got an A.
That's on time. So you know, came out of nowhere. I had to be 2 weeks ago.